White people, how do you feel about the segregation ban? I already know how people of color feel in other minorities, but what about y'all? How do you feel about this? Like, are you happy? I know that's kind of like a setup, huh? Because if you're all like, yeah, and I'm like, oh, we found him. But no, I'm like curious, like, because I mean, it doesn't really affect y'all unless you have like a partner or something like that, or kids who are obviously people of color. Other than that, just straight up white people, no relations to any people of color. How do you feel about this? Are you just like, damn, that's crazy for you? I mean, are you shocked? Like, I'm laughing because me and my people, we've already been through shit. So it's like, at the end of the day, I have faith that we will be okay. I guess for the Karens and the Kevins out there, it's like good. That way you don't have to be mad at any black person or other person of color coming in your territory and questioning them. You get to just chill and deal with your own people. Let me know how you feel.
Hi, I'm Kylie, and white conservatives are terrified of POC outnumbering us. And I truly believe this is the motivation behind a lot of hateful policies in the US. If you haven't heard of the Great Replacement Theory, it is that over time, if enough black and brown immigrants come to the US, as well as white people having children with POC, then over time, POC will outnumber white people. And the reason that this is so unsettling to a lot of white people, especially conservative white people, is that they are terrified that if POC become in power, then they will treat us like we've treated them in the past, which is obviously not great. It involves subjugation of people, enslavement, assault, violence of basically every kind. And I think that white people can feel the shift happening as they are becoming more and more outnumbered. And that is why they are clinging so tightly to power in Congress and with the president right now. And that's why it's so funny when white people deny that racism exists, because if they didn't think racism did exist, they wouldn't be scared of being outnumbered. But they understand the ways that we have treated people of color has been atrocious, and thus they are scared of the tables turning and of being in that position of subjugation.
Oh yeah guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all doing good. For a long time the idea of segregation has been treated as one of the darkest chapters in American history, and rightly so. It has been brutal, unjust, and designed to benefit one group at the expense of another. But today, something interesting is happening in public conversations. Many white Americans openly express fear at the idea of segregation returning, while many black Americans say we are not afraid of it. So that contrast alone raises an important question. Why is the fear not the same? So guys, to understand this, we have to talk honestly about history, power, and dependency. So guys, let me just roll these clips, then I'll be coming back with more commentaries. In case of any thoughts, kindly feel free to let me know in the comment section. Otherwise, stay tuned.
Ever notice how most white people are very silent about racism? They're quiet about calling it out when they see it. They refuse to talk about it in everyday life, but then proceed to say, yeah, I treat everybody the same. I'm not racist. I love everybody. When they see injustices, when oppression cannot be ignored, they manage to do just that. Pretend like it's not happening for their comfort. When you don't speak up on something, when you pretend it's not as big of an issue as it actually is, when you say, I'm a good person, I treat everybody the same. So what these other white people are doing to harm and oppress other people has nothing to do with me, so I can stay quiet and just allow it to happen. That is prioritizing your comfort over justice. That is what's keeping this whole system that white people designed alive. This whole racial hierarchy. And you are scared of rejection from other white people, if you're scared to talk about these things, if you're scared to be vocal, if you're scared for people to cut off contact with you or to remove you from a friend on social media, if you're scared to be scapegoated yourself, you are fully responsible for keeping the system alive. The injustices that people of color experience are your fault, just like the rest of the majority of white people. You are not better than someone who is racist themselves because you allow it. You allow it. And if every single one of us that claims to not be racist went and took a stand, became vocal, didn't hide to protect themselves. There was uproars when a rich white person was just let go with a warning when they committed a hate crime, and we made big deals about these things because we genuinely cared. It wouldn't happen anymore. We held racist people accountable. If none of us tolerated it, the ones that said they're not racist, if we didn't tolerate other racists, I think we can end this whole racial hierarchy thing going on. We held cops and judges accountable. If we punished hate crimes to the fullest extent, if we had a zero tolerance policy for racism, if every racist person was blasted online by other white people, we took a stand and said we are no longer enabling other white people just because we don't want to be rejected by them. I think that this country could look a lot different. Nobody wants to do anything. Nobody wants to do anything. They want to pretend like they're doing something. They want to pretend like they care. But everybody moves about with their ego in mind. Everything is me, me, me. What will happen to me if I do this? What will happen to me if I'm vocal? What will happen to me if I'm an outcast? Who cares? Who cares if you're scapegoated? Who cares if you're an outcast? Do what's right. I just can't stand how weak people are.
I'm re-recording this message for quality purposes only. I want to make sure that the algorithm picks up this video and pushes it out as much as possible. I need every person of color, every Black person to hear this video, to hear this message, okay? The Trump administration is looking to reinstate segregation for its federal workers, okay? Segregation, to which I literally said in my last video, and I'm going to say it again. Bring back segregation if you want to. Bring it back if you want to. You want to play them games? We can play them games. And like always, go and fact check this. You can find it on ABC News. You can find it on Politico, not political, but politico.com. You can find it on usnews.com and etc. Now, this is coming directly from the article, okay? Let's read. Segregated facilities could make a comeback as Trump's administration lifts discrimination ban on federal contracts. According to a public memo from General Services Administration, the GSA, the federal government will no longer prohibit contractors from having segregated waiting rooms, restaurants, and water fountains in order to secure government contracts. The memo reportedly states when issuing new solicitations or contracts, do not include any of the following provisions or clauses: the prohibition of segregated facilities. This move aligns with President Trump's broader executive order to repel diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) initiatives within the government and across the country. Now companies will have more leeway to decide whether or not to have segregated facilities, which include restrooms, restaurants, waiting areas, parking lots, and locker rooms. And like I said in the last video, please don't threaten us with a good time. Please don't threaten us with a good time. Bring back segregation if you want to. Bring back segregation if you want to. Let our Black teachers educate our Black students. Let our Black physicians treat our Black patients. Let our Black bankers and accountants help manage and help Black people better manage their money. Let our Black athletes, okay, play for their own Black teams. All right, let our Black people represent us in the Olympic Games. Bring it back all the way. Don't make it just a federal thing. Don't make it just a federal thing. Bring it back nationwide. Bring it back nationwide, because I promise you the Black people of today are not the Black people of back then. We didn't know any better. Now that we know what your spaces looks like, we don't give a fuck about being included in your spaces. How about that? This is not the game that you want to play. This is not the game that you want to play. I promise you, the Black community, you see how we're thriving right now? Just minding our business. We're not even doing anything. We're just minding our business. We all collectively said we're not coming outside for any of you people, and we're good. My bank account is thriving. I know a lot of other Black people whose bank accounts is thriving right now. I promise you, bring back segregation. And you know what? I'm going to even call your bluff. Bring back segregation for federal workers, and you don't even have to make an announcement about it being nationwide. We'll do it for you. We will do it for you. We will move in accordance to what you've started. I promise you that. Let it be let it be federal. Let any of our Black federal workers be like, yeah, so they've officially started segregation. Word? We bringing that shit on the outside too. We bringing that on the outside too. We have Black-owned restaurants. We have Black-owned businesses. All we need is to get our Black Wall Street up and running again. And this time, we dare y'all to try to burn that shit down. Blood will be shed, baby. Blood will be shed, I promise you. So go ahead. Go ahead. Play if you want to. I'm telling you, Outside of all the atrocities that Donald Trump will commit within these next 4 years, one of the things he will be accredited for is finally uniting all black people. All black people. I promise you that. I promise you that. Bring it all the way the fuck back. Let us go back in history. We have been separating our black dollars from you. Please, we would love to be able to separate our talent too. We would love to be able to separate our talent too. Let's see who really is the superior race.
You know, guys, during segregation, white Americans still controlled the economy, the institutions, the land, the resources, and the political system. Black Americans were forced into segregation without choice, without power, and without protection. So when segregation ended, it was not because white people were harmed by it. It ended because it was morally wrong and exposed America's hypocrisy. So fast forward to today, when some white Americans say they fear segregation, that fear is not really about separation itself. It is about losing access, losing influence, and dependence. Black Americans, on the other hand, have lived through exclusion before. They built businesses when they weren't allowed in white ones. They created communities when they were locked out of institutions. They survived when the system was actively working against them. So when Black Americans say they don't fear segregation, what they are really saying is, we already know how to survive without your approval. So that doesn't mean they want segregation. It means they are not dependent on proximity to whiteness to exist or thrive. So this is a very uncomfortable truth for many people. You know, for generations, black labor, black culture, black innovation, and black resilience have been deeply woven into American success. From agriculture to music, from infrastructure to social movements, black Americans contributed while being denied equal access. So when conversations about separation come up today, the fear on one side is rooted in loss of dominance, loss of control, loss of a system that quietly depended on black participation without equal respect. Meanwhile, black Americans have been learning independence for centuries, often by force. That's why you see a difference in emotional response. Fear usually comes from vulnerability you've never had to face before. For black Americans, vulnerability was never optional. It was the starting point. Another layer to this conversation is economic and cultural self-determination. Today, more black Americans are talking about ownership, community focus, mental peace, and minding their own business, not begging for inclusion, not choosing boundaries. That shift alone feels threatening to people who are used to being the center of everything, because equality feels like oppression to those who benefited from imbalance. So, when white Americans say segregation would destroy America, black Americans often respond silently with, America already tried destroying us and we are still here. Again, this is not about promoting division or hatred. It's about understanding why fear is uneven. Fear reveals dependence. Calm reveals experience. So if America truly wants unity, it must first accept that different groups carry different historical memories. You cannot demand the same emotional reaction from people who have not lived the same reality. Black Americans are not fearless because segregation was good. They are calm because they have already survived worse. And until that truth is acknowledged, conversations like this will continue to expose the cracks many people would rather ignore. Anyway, guys, Thank you so much for watching. Of course, all credit belongs to the original creators of the video. This video is meant for educational purposes and commentary purposes as well. Kindly give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video widely for it to get to a wider audience, and also turn on the notification bell after subscribing so that you don't miss on the next one. Be blessed. Peace be with you until the next one.